we want to talk about a current issue that we are experiencing at the moment in our city of eThekwini Metro. That is the water crisis. Now, this crisis has caused major ripple effects because whenever there is, there's a multiple crisis in terms of water sanitation, the provision of water because of the failed infrastructure, failed administration, and now, post the floods, these things have been exposed and it has contaminated our water systems. So let's talk about that briefly. Vaughn, what are you hearing on the ground concerning this?
Well, it's crazy how we haven't even mentioned Eskom, but I don't think we're going to put them in the conversation because I think they've been spoken about enough, although it's not acceptable with our power crisis at the moment.
Well, we don't know which one to choose.
No,
it's between Eskom and the water issue.
Yes. Now, for me, and I think we're going to be discussing the sewage crisis in Durban at the moment, and the fact that for most nights our water is cut off in the evenings. But it's coming up more and more all over the place where you're seeing people posting videos online. There's overflowing sewage in Mayville after heavy rains in the Mayville area. There's overflowing sewage pipes happening in Umhlanga. There's Wilson's Wharf, where there's apparently a terrible stench coming from the harbour there because of all the sewage flowing into the harbour. And this
so
is
it's from north to south.
This is everywhere.
Ends.
And from the articles that I looked through this morning, they're saying, it's not just Durban. This is happening all over KZN. And this is one of the guys that has been looking into this. He's been to Ladysmith, St. Lucia, Umhlanga, Westville, Pinetown, Phoenix.
It's fair to say that our waters, even the ocean and our beaches, are polluted. And there's E. coli in our water system.
Umgeni River especially, before even getting to the beaches, Pastor Ronald, there is serious sewage problems flowing into Umgeni from upper Umgeni, coming all the way down into the sea. So this is a national crisis, not just a Durban crisis.
Most definitely, a national crisis. So we have this water issue, and I know that you are buying water, boiling water, and we encourage you to boil water if you are using it from the taps, because we know that when water is polluted, because it's possibly the most important thing in our life. And I remember a pastor many years ago. It's actually a prophetic word. I believe it was Pastor Thamo, Apostle Thamo Naidu, who mentioned that the next crisis, this was many years ago, and the next war will be the war concerning water.
Yeah.
And this is going to be a massive issue. And we know that there are no water tanks visiting these wards and streets providing water. So if you have water, you are in a privileged position right now, because it's becoming a commodity that is so rare and important as water shortages and cut-off, and some areas are being hit very bad. Of course, in our conversations yesterday that we had with some pastors and friends, even the hospital systems, there's sewage, overflow of water, pipes that are burst and clogged and jammed and full of garbage. Our stormwater systems are, broken down, also full of garbage. We're seeing all of the exposure of heavy rains and heavy floods that is taking place. Now, we don't want to sound like two grown men complaining. No. I'm sure there are many people with serious issues out there. But it's also fair to say that if you are looking at the global world and from a global perspective, even first world countries are experiencing power shortages, like the UK right now. And what is going on in the UK, God only knows. I think they have a new prime minister, or they don't have a prime minister.
Yeah, it's still in the works.
I think it's Liz Truss that broke the record for the shortest serving prime minister, 14 days or something.
Crazy.
And it's so they are left without a prime minister. I heard someone saying they want the guy that they've fired, Boris Johnson, they want him back. Well, he should come back and maybe comb his hair when he does.
Well, isn't this the culture that we live in, where I think there's a serious issue where there's no responsibility, or you're not allowed to say the buck stops with you and it's your fault because someone does something wrong. And I mean, we see this in our government where it's just a slap of the wrist, it's a shuffle of a cabinet, and if you stole millions or did something wrong somewhere, you just move to another position and you don't even see jail time for that. And this is a worldwide thing.